we have on special sale this month. And normally it's $19.95. It's now $15.96 plus tax. Let me tell you, our book study is using this book this month. And it's called The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, A Simple Guide to Unlimited Abundance. And it's by Edwin Gaines. And in chapter 9, it's about finding your purpose. And I thought that fit right in with today's theme. So, at one time or another, you probably asked yourself, what is the purpose of my life? What is its meaning? Why am I here on earth? And what am I supposed to be doing? Chances are you work hard, whether you take care of a household or have a job outside the home. Your days are filled with seemingly endless chores and tasks, like getting the oil changed in your car and getting to the grocery store. Perhaps sometimes you get tired and stressed out. Life can seem like one long, meaningless to-do list, with bland retirement and a gold-plated watch at the end of it. This woman is really filled with wonderful things. All of the great and wise people who have ever made a difference on planet Earth heard their soul's yearnings and chose a purpose for their lives. People like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela seem to have been driven by a self-determined purpose that they chose for themselves. Now we often think of such people with a sense of awe and respect, as if they were somehow different from us, better, smarter, more saintly, or more courageous. Sometimes they hardly seem human, but the truth is, the only real difference between you and these people is that they all seem to have a clearly defined purpose that they selected for themselves and then embraced with steadfast dedication and unshakable determination. You have that very same opportunity as well. Every single one of us has some special gift, some special interest, some special talent, some special way of impacting the world so that it becomes a better place for everyone. You have the potential to live at the level of Gandhi and Mother Teresa. The question you ask yourself is, am I willing to define, embrace, and hold fast to my divine purpose, prayerfully, persistently, and patiently? If the answer is yes, then the impossible truly can become possible in your life. And you might want to read the rest of that chapter. It's very good. And we have the book for you. Our speaker this morning is a lady who's been through a lot in her life. She's come through it. She's a really, really productive citizen. And she's done it through the power of the Christ within her. And so she knows what to do with a Christ awareness. And she's going to tell us what she knows today. Please help me welcome Reverend Brigitte Heimers. Not only that, she's a living Christ.
Thank you, Reverend Marianne. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, the short answer would be what to do with Christ awareness. Use it.
Yeah, you got it.
But that wouldn't make a talk, right? So I have given it some thought. What to do with Christ awareness. Already in the early days of the teaching of the inner Christ, the message from the Yogi Christ Babaji placed in the mind of our founders was, quote, Christ awareness all over the world. And now this morning, let us examine what to do with our Christ awareness. Spiritual awareness is no longer reserved for a few masters or sages. In this age, all will be recognized as being spiritually aware. And that is the reason why we teach here at the Teaching of the Inner Christ that everyone is a Christ. Everyone, through conscious contact with their own Christ self, learns to express their inner divinity. The key in all of this is awareness. And so the questions are, how do we get there? And what do we do with it? How do we become aware? Well, aware usually implies vigilance or indrawing inferences from what we see, what we hear, what we feel. It also includes being alive, alert, awake, cognizant, being conscious, paying attention. I like the word cognizant because it implies special or certain knowledge as from first-hand sources. And of course, spirit is our first-hand source. I also like the word conscious, which implies awareness of something when we allow it to enter our minds and hearts. And that is the place where we fix attention upon it. It is like paying attention to the signals from our Christ identity. When we stop our daily activities long enough to pause in meditation or channeling or prayer, to bring through the messages from Christ, from the Spirit, all awareness is the awareness of God, just as all life is the life of God. Although we use the term awareness in various ways, awareness is self-recognition, the self-knowing of God. And it is awareness alone that has the power to spread the Christ message all over the world and to transform the world into enlightened consciousness, just as light or divine intelligence has the power to move. In our textbook here, Being a Christ, I found this quote, which as you can read it again on page 166, if you want to refresh your memory, and I quote, "Light is awareness or consciousness." End of quote. So we can know on the level of spirit, it is enlightenment. On the level of mind, it is intelligence. And on the physical level, it is a physical vibration, our connection with our own I am self or Christ self. So awareness, light or the consciousness of God, transforms all experiences or appearances of separation, limitation, or error in any form upon contact. So the same way as darkness in a room is transformed by turning on a light. Even one candle is dispelling the darkness, as we know. We each can be a candle in our world, turning on the Christ awareness in every person we meet. I am convinced that soon the Christ awareness is all over the world, as we were hearing very early in our teaching here. And a great change is taking place through healing the old, lifting it into the new level of consciousness. And we all are part of that. So healing at the level of awareness is accomplished through contact with our own inner Christ. When we align ourselves in consciousness with unlimited God awareness, we experience a healing, and thus the world experiences a healing. Because at this level, only perfection is known. So now, what to do with Christ awareness? Well, I refer us to our pink book. This is my favorite one, as you know, The Dawning of the Age of Light. And if you want to peruse it, is on the pages 51 to 55. One of the messages there says, "Follow in faith your inner guidance." How many times have we got something from our inner guidance and we might not have done it? Does anybody relate to that? And,
Yeah.
and then we fell on our face, didn't we? A little later. So that is important. Follow in faith your inner guidance. Another point is, learn to accept yourself in the capacity of serving others. This is your purpose, to serve others. We've heard a little bit this morning already. We are not just here on this earth to do our own things. We are also here to serve others. And another point is, quote, "You are a bearer of light. Light is joy to all it touches," end of quote. A bearer of light. So this is our own vibration that we project into the place that we are either serving, learning, teaching, working, or whatever our activity may be. Another point is, quote, "Know as a Christ knows, love as a Christ loves, live as a Christ lives." Now that is a tall order, isn't it? Sometimes we're a little bit astray, but usually, when we listen to our inner guidance, we are coming back to where we need to be. Now, let me share how I am guided to use my Christ awareness as I speak the word. I shine the light on my family members and friends, and I do this before I get out of bed. I think I've mentioned that before. Before I get out in the morning, out of bed, I project that Christ light. And when I go to sleep at night, I do the same. I always open my day and begin my day and end my day with this understanding, to shine the Christ light. Another point, the messages I hear on the media, by that I mean radio, television, or whatever, I use it as my prayer book. And I've mentioned that before in some other situation. I really don't have to go very far, because if you listen to the radio, it usually gives us something where we can immediately use our prayer power, or at least to say cancel for lack of truth. That is the shortest form. I use my Christ awareness when I leave the house, and I always say it, that I shine the light and protect the house, my garden, and to protect me as well as I travel in my car. And I include everyone on the roads that I travel on, because it's not always us who needs to watch. It is we have to have one eye in front and one eye in the back, don't we? Another point, when I go on my trips every year to Germany, to Switzerland and other countries, I always shine my Christ awareness to all passengers in the airplane. And I also inquire how the pilots are. Did they have enough sleep? I do ask. I do ask one of the attendants and the personnel on the plane. Another point, when we can include our Christ awareness as we pray for divine right order within our country and the countries of the world. And no matter whom we voted for, it is that we need to support our administration, our leadership. Another point, we can send our Christ awareness and prayers to everyone in the administration in Washington, because we know they are Christs, they are guided by their own inner guidance, and sometimes words don't come out the right way, then there needs to be a backtracking. But I think if we can send our prayers always to Washington, it helps the whole country. We can send our Christ awareness to the TIC International Center, to the leaders and the congregation, to the musicians and the singers and all the people who join us on our website. We can do this, and it is easy to just demonstrate how we use our Christ awareness. And of course, I would say we can send our Christ awareness and prayers to all the TIC centers, to all the study groups, because each one is having their own inner guidance as well. So as you can see, the use of our Christ awareness and prayers is unlimited. I find that the more I use my Christ awareness during each day, the more joyful and complete I feel myself going through each day. In other words, I benefit the most when I am in service to humanity, and I'm sure you feel the same way. So I invite you to engage yourself in similar ways. And that's all I have to share today. Thank you. As you can see, I needed to write everything by hand today because it seems like I have a little problem with my printer, but it's getting fixed.
Good, good.
There's nothing like old school literature.
Exercise your hand a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Now, we have the opportunity. There it is.